Adrena Marie. Real talk, real stories with Adrena Marie.
Hey guys, it's your girl Adrena Marie, Real Talk, Real Stories. We're back in the building live at Hard Rock Reverb Radio. And I have some extraordinary, my besties in the building, and they're going to be sharing with us. We got Radiant over here to my right, and we have Miss Kim Decor.
I like how you say my name.
You know, I gotta get a little sexy in there with that thing, guys. So we're gonna call this the round table discussion, and we're actually gonna go into the arts a little bit. Kim actually just got here from the Netherlands
Yesterday.
Last
night, yeah. A little bit jet lag, but I'm gonna be fine.
And Radiant just docked in from 5 kids and, you know, mothership, okay? Yay! Okay, and we're going to share our thoughts here today and just really get into the depths of what we've been doing out here. What is Real Talk, Real Stories? With your girl, Adrena Marie, of course. But these two extraordinary ladies have been such a pillar into my my life and us really getting out here and expressing ourselves and being the change and taking those depths of conversations that people don't want to have. And Kim did such a great job last year, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
She had a study on the stripper's mentality, broke down in so many different ways, coming from our city of Atlanta, and she was able to interview some of these young ladies. And we want to kind of open the floor because I know people look at strippers and entertainers as being something that's just so foul. The wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is everlasting. But to be true to yourself is everything. It's
Amen.
all things. And I really like the fashion that how, you know, a lot of us women here in the city, that you were able to kind of get up close and personal with them and just let them tell a story. So our first topic of the day is going to be strippers in Atlanta. And how do you view yourself in those type of lower scales, as you would say, environments? But let Kim tell it. We're bringing Radiant on as a discussion coming from the younger generation. And then we're going to incorporate that a little bit with some of the music industry too as well. So Kim, enlighten us. How did that go? How did that work?
Now, first of all, I really want to conduct this research from an empowering standpoint because I know there's a lot of stigmas around sex work and stripper culture. But at the same time, there are also like local celebrities, right? Like I talk to dancers and they explain to me that sometimes customers come to the club, especially because they are dancing. I talked to rap artists who told me like, oh my God, I have my favorite strip club dancer, and when she dances, I want to come through. And I wanted to show how strip club dancers are actually very important in the music industry because when they decide to dance on somebody's music, chances are that it's going to be a hit, right?
Right.
So I talked to the dancers and they explained to me how important their role is. Like, okay, I'm going to dance on this song and then they're going to maybe throw some extra money.
Right.
And before you know, the club is going up, it's going to be lit and turned up.
Right.
Because I decided to dance on that song. And from the rap artist standpoint, they actually confirmed everything that the dancers were saying because they told me when I have a new hit, I want to go to the strip club, make sure my favorite
So it was kind of like hands on, like hand in hand. We have the rappers and the strippers.
Because of course they have a relationship. And again, it's really good for people to know how important the dancer is for the music industry scene. So I didn't want to approach it from like oh my God, it's like a certain type of job and they need to be stigmatized. I really wanted to show people how important they are, how complex they are in the sense that they also enjoy their work, and next to that they are like entrepreneurs, cupcake entrepreneurs,
salvation is free, people,
makeup and beauty. You know, people I talk to dance who are actually studying architecture and stuff like that.
I wanted to get to the bottom root of things, and since music and dance is such a great influential aspect to our community, I wanted to have something where we can really know the truth about some of our community business owners, I would say, and entrepreneurs. Now, when you had these conversations with some of the dancers, like, and you explained like some of them have other things going on besides dancing.
Yeah.
Now, what did you get from like the percentage of some of the women that are still stuck in that and really like that environment and don't see themselves changing outside of that.
Yeah.
And some of them really it's really a business. It's really, they take it very seriously.
Yeah.
They don't mix business and pleasure.
Definitely.
They keep it very professional.
Yeah.
So on that note, because most times when you look at a stripper, you would think, oh, well, she has low vibrational things going on. She, you know, she's bloom, bloom, bling, you know, and or she does this. And the outlook of how men look at them is not the same, which it shouldn't be, but that's, you're not here to judge.
Well,
But
I have
that's
a
the
I have a
crazy
say
part
so.
that-
So like,
come on, Nimrati.
even when they say strippers, it's because they don't have a skill yet. So the only thing about a woman is they always say you use what you have, and that's your body. So for them to probably get away and to try to escape the reality of another thing, they have to find a different skill, because it's not that they don't want to leave. It's not that that's all that they can do.
Right.
It's just because the lowest of the vibration is our bodies. We use ourselves to get a better outcome of research. So with the strippers, of what my mom is telling you about, what about the women that cannot see themselves as a different position and try to, it's because they have the lack of a skill. But it's always, you know,
that's definitely not the women that I talk to. Like, everyone I talked to definitely had other skills, right?
Right.
They were like great makeup artists. They were like great dancers. They
But
sometimes
see, and
came
that
from
and that's
ballet.
mostly like behind the scenes,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is like the perspective of how Radiant just explained it.
Yeah.
That's what they're pushing out there. Like,
Oh, you mean
you see them? So it's
got
two
it,
different
got it.
dialects of like,
Yeah.
yes, you actually went in and interviewed these
Yes,
people,
yeah.
but what's being portrayed outside of that
Yeah.
educational piece is that
Yeah.
no, girl,
Yeah.
use a
Yeah, I got what
got a
you're
different
saying.
girl every day of the
Yeah.
week, you know, and that's the part that we want to break
Yeah.
the chains
Yeah.
from.
But at the same time though, I think it's really interesting that you have a lot of like famous rappers who also dated strip club dancers, right?
Right,
Think about the Amber Rose, a Black China,
Okay,
a
most
Cash
definitely.
Doll. So I don't think like at one point there's still that stigma, but on the other hand, you see like certain men dating and wifing up strip club dancers. So maybe that stigma is less.
So
right
let
now.
me get down to the funkiness of it. Now, can you, shall you turn a stripper into a housewife? Let's get this gravy rolling, people,
But can
okay?
you also turn a researcher into a housewife? Because I don't know if I want to be a housewife
Yes.
though. So
You hear what I'm saying? Okay. So what do you consider as being a housewife? So
Right,
can you
yeah.
be a stripper and a housewife, or
can you take care of yourself and be able to take care of someone else with a different mindset? So yes, it's possible for a stripper to become a housewife, and it's possible for what did you guys say? Really?
researcher,
A researcher,
yeah.
a researcher to become a housewife is
Yeah.
very possible.
Yeah.
So
and I'm just happy that I'm opening up this dialect now here in Atlanta, because the strip clubs are really what has been sustaining our city, just hands down. We have a lot of money being exchanged, and you know, the fact about it is that we have been like degraded about. The women have been so degraded about their choices in doing this. And some women probably make it bad for other women. But for our younger generation, it's just been stigma to use a. I can't turn you into. You can never make that a housewife, or you can never, make a reporter a how, because you are in the streets. You're not as the norm. You're not a 9-to-5 worker. You're not a nurse practitioner, or you're not this and that. And I find in the industry, the reason why we have a lot of different diversities of music is because the experiences of the lower vibration of some of these rappers, that they are attracted to those lower vibrations of that vibration, not the person, but the vibration of the attraction. So what we're trying to break the chains out of is to say, hey, look, we have a different perspective. Kim, you actually went in and got that perspective. You actually can come and we can interview some of these young ladies that, I mean, it's a hard situation when you're trying to come from being a holism, I would say, and going into the godship of yourself, knowing yourself, being authentic in completely way. And I'm not saying that it's a whole ship. I'm saying as women come into themselves, as we find ourselves, I believe it's five analysis to the growth and development of where women are when we are at lower vibrations. So I'm going to explain that just a little bit. So there's hostship, okay? And then there's ladyship, there's womanship, there's queenship. You understand what I'm saying? And then you walking into your godship, meaning that as a woman, as I developed over the years, I have grew up in a society that hoes are the conversation, that strippers are okay. Yeah. And when I go into those experiences, or I had those experiences, I'm at a lower vibration because physically, I think I'm doing the right thing, but emotionally, from the tears of that environment, I'm being pulled so many ways that I can't identify me on my ship. Like, okay, I am a woman and I do have a holy desire. I'm just describing it in a way of kind of just in a simplicity that when you're getting closer to what God got for you in your growth and development as a woman, because you want to be on God's ship.
Right. Let me pause you right there.
Go ahead.
Godship is amazing to know how to recognize him, because as we're talking about strippers and get on the topic and you interviewed them, I interviewed myself. Dealing of last year, I was looking for a position and I really was trying to get into the dancing field for a little bit. So I took some time off. I didn't talk to my parents about it, but I did it. And it's to a point where your mind, it matures you to know your body. Strippers have to realize that when you go in, it is a job. You have three things that you have to pay for. You pay the house mom, you pay the DJ, then you pay the security before you leave. So they're programming them to understand this is a business, but if you allow your body, your physical form to do more than what it is, that's when you go home and not pray on your knees and say, God, forgive me. It depends on how to look in yourself in the mirror and say, I have to do this again. Let's clean my body. Let's get this together and make it as a job. Right. Then your God will acknowledge stables, boundaries of what your body is about to experience, because it's not what you can hold.
Right.
And when I tried it out, the income for what you're supposed to do is not worth it. For your production, like even as a young mother of 5 children, doing things like that to come home was like just an experience to try to get the feel of how the women does it. I wanted to understand what it is to feel your body. It's
that's
just
a great
really
point. Yeah,
acknowledging your body. Like my body can do these things, but is it okay for me to go back home to my kids and say I'm a good mom? It's amazing.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
that's
but
a great
I cannot
point.
judge that for other women. So what I'm trying to do is, I think the most important thing for me is that women who make that choice really want to make that choice,
really
right?
want to make that
they
choice.
really want to do it. They know the advantages of it, right? But also perhaps the disadvantages and the dangers, right? Because some of them also told me you have to be mentally very strong, because there's temptation there.
Yeah.
But I, as a woman, like, if that's your decision, I will root for you, and hopefully everything will turn out fine, and I'm not gonna judge you in any way, right? So that's something that I want to add.
Right, and I think that's bringing the dialect for transparency and understanding that, because a lot of women are not willing to go into depths and really tell it like it is. So, this your girl Adriana Marie, Real Talk, Real Stories. We're in the building, and hey guys, I serve the Lord, okay? And I am a sinner, but I'm a sinner to a winner, okay? And we're here to set the record straight on these facts. And breaking the chains has to start with laying this stuff on the table, really regrouping and having those conversations that will open up to the public, that will say, I didn't think that you will guys actually have a conversation like that. But before we had this, we actually went into the field, and that was the beautifulest thing about it. So this your girl Adriana Marie, Real Talk, Real Stories. We'll be right back, guys. We're here at Reverb Radio here in Atlanta. We went live, guys. It's going down 2024. Be the change.
We would like to now take a minute to give a shout out to a special friend of Real Talk, Real Stories with Adriana Marie, Broccoli Exterminators, with over 40 years of experience, which includes free inspections, clearance letters, and senior discounts of 10%. Satisfaction guaranteed. So for all your exterminator needs, please give Broccoli Exterminators a call at 404-782-1626. That's Broccoli Exterminators. 404-782-1626. Now back to Real Talk, Real Stories with Adrena Marie.
Real talk, real stories with Adrena Marie. Real talk, real stories with Adrena Marie. Real talk, real stories with Adrena Marie.
Hey guys, it's your girl Adrena Marie, Real Talk, Real Stories in the building. We're back live at Reverb Radio, and we're up for discussion, guys. We're talking about strippers in Atlanta, okay? It's going down, and the dialogue, I think I was saying dialect, but dialogue of this conversation has been very enlightening. So we're going to finish and open up the floor a little bit more about that. I think Radiant had a good point, and then we're going to ride it back into Kim, and then we're going to go back into our other discussion of the entertainment industry, and I'm looking forward to that. So, Radiant, what you were concluding with?
Yes, I was saying that as a woman, we value ourselves as a different hold of a beam. So as much as our light can shine out there to get how many people that we can attract, because that's what they're doing. When a stripper goes out there and give their bodies to the people that wants to be, perform, it's just a share of light. Yeah. How willing and how far are you trying to give your light to people to help them? Because your body cannot only take as much as what it can give. Right. So back in the day, when I used to look at like antique history, they used to really perform like strippers, but they used to have like feast and food, and they'll come out there and dance. Nowadays, they just took it to a too farther of a zack of no clothes. So that's just a different form where the man is not supposed to be seen, because that's like too much of the eye. Yeah. But if you think about it, back in the day, they have to figure out, the moral of the having fun, and then going there to just, be bored.
Maybe like burlesque.
It is
kind of, right?
So
but
ancient Egypt, they did it differently. They had food.
It was more tribal.
They had food there. They had games. Then they had people, dancing and coming out there. Yeah. Like nowadays, they try to keep it as a business. Everything about money. Why is it more than one strip club?
It's capitalism, right? We live in a capitalist society and everything,
But at the moral of the story is a woman has to value her body on how much she gives out there. It's not an attractional, I have to go do it. It's because you want to.
That's right.
So it's up to the woman to stand strong in the fight to say, my time here is enough. I helped out my body to understand how far I can go, and then step over that step.
So, and those people, I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you up, but those were also some things what the women said. Like, okay, maybe I'm going to do 1 year, 2 year, and after that, my own business is probably more booming, so I can, leave the industry. So they really had like a get out plan. That's what I call it,
that's what I was going to ask you. Did you see the transformation for some of the women that wanted to start their businesses? Yeah. And they say, hey, well, like I worked at Waffle House for 19 years. Okay, that was one of my jobs. A third shift is hard, and I said, well, after 19 years, I want to get out. I know I have a plan. I only can do 9 to 7. But I'm going to work on that plan. So in that sense, using that as a scenario, what was the conversations like? How long did it take them to actually meet that goal?
Ooh, that is
did some of them like
maybe like 5-6 years. Some were in there a little bit longer, but they all had in mind like I'm not going to do this when I'm 50, 60, right? They all had like a plan. Okay, let me.
So you never seen any of them like being like trapped, like this is like the only thing.
Not yet. But of course, they could tell me stories about other women who were maybe a little bit more trapped and more attempted to do other stuff. But the women I talked to had like a clear plan. Like, okay, I'm going to do this for a few years, and then I'm going to start my business, or my business is booming, or I'm going to do some other stuff. Some of them. So
you figured that like that was a very enlightening conversation with them.
It really was.
Because I bet you if we had a conversation with the Doughboys of Atlanta, okay,
they could be.
We would definitely be on the block and having these transparent conversations on if we took that same amount of money that they made on the block and put it into something positive, what would be that perspective from that? So, I mean, that's a whole nother topic, baby. We're going to save that for later, but we're going to get into some good meat, guys. Kim has actually just got back here from the Netherlands. She is in charge of our journalism program for Real Talk, Real Stories with your girl, Adrena Marie, and I am so excited about this because she has had the opportunity to work with some of the greatest artists that are from our city, and I'm really big on the West Side, okay? Okay, West Side side is the best side. Don't get it twisted. But she actually was able to go in and have some of these conversations for the some of my historic artists from the city. So can you enlighten us and
Of course,
on how that went with those conversations? Hold on, I know about Antonio Simmons.
Yes.
He was part of one of our interviews, and that's with the
Yeah.
Dogwood movie with
DMX.
DMX.
With DMX, his latest movie, or
And
his
so
last movie.
his
I would
last
say.
movie,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Kim was able to drop those Jews on us right after DMX transition, which was so enlightening. And it goes back to what you were saying about the light radiant. Like when people leave their light on you, that light is on you, and then the light came through you to share his story. So definitely tell us what's been going on with the industry, guys.
No, I'm very thankful that a lot that Southern artists were willing to dedicate their time to me, right?
Okay.
Because they didn't know me, and I'm just like a journalist, from the Netherlands. But it was really nice to talk to Big Gip from the Goodie Mob, right?
Okay,
And that
Big
was a
Gip, we gotta
great
get you in here.
conversation. Yeah, that would be amazing. He has so
Amazing.
much to tell, from the Southernization of rap music to his time with Outkast, but also strip club culture, right? Because he was kind of like in there in the 90s, right?
Wow. And he
James
definitely
Worthy.
would know about the strip clubs.
Yeah.
The strip clubs in the 90s, because that's when they really was
Right,
beating
with
guys.
Tupac. He told me a story when he was
Oh,
riding
wow.
with Tupac, Magic
Okay.
City. So that was dope. I talked to James Worthy, like a great producer.
How was
Drummer
James Worthy? How was he?
He's so kind. He is
Oh,
so kind
word.
and so talented and so humble.
Oh, cool.
So that was dope. And Drummer Boy, one of my favorite producers as
Do
well.
you know Drummer Boy? Rick?
I do not.
Okay.
listen
Well, hey,
to the
Drummer Boy, we're coming for you.
practice.
We need some scholarship money. You gotta drop them Jews. It's your girl, is your Marie. Real talk, real
Yeah,
story.
because he has like a scholarship program.
Oh, wow.
I want to say, where he's from? Memphis?
Wow, we're
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
We're coming.
And the Little Donald, I love him as well. Like,
Oh
he has
my
amazing
goodness!
feminist music,
Little Donald is the one that wrote the song about when he wrote the message to his daughter.
His daughter, great artist as well. Taylor Girls doing their thing, right? In the Netherlands, I interviewed DJ Trauma. Insane, he worked.
Now,
with
Trauma,
Beyonce
how you get to the Netherlands over here with my homegirl Kim? I'm gonna have to come and collect some currency from you, because we serve the Lord, and our kids on the West Side, we need some scholarship money, okay?
Yeah, that was dope. And of course, Street Runner, one of the producers who produced God Did with DJ Khaled and Jay-Z.
Okay.
That was dope as well.
So Kim has been around, guys. She has been doing her thing. So this is what it's been about, because this year coming into 2024, we're really stabilizing our internship program at Wheat Street Baptist Church. And Kim is actually in charge of our journalism piece. So I'm so excited. We're going to be getting them in-depth conversations, talking to Radiant. Radiant actually going to be working with the dance department over there, teaching. Her first gig is folk dancing. I can't wait to see how this goes. Shout out to Miss Patricia Odom in the house.
I am still working on that.
Shout out to my mom, guys, and just all of the women that really been keeping us up as pillars so that we can have these conversations.
That's amazing.
And I'm so excited that you were able to take the time that you had before you left here last year.
Oh, yeah.
And really seize the moment with some of our community-based artists, because we want to bring them in this year. We're actually going to be holding our community accountable, and we want to share a piece of us with you all.
Can I throw something in the universe? I really want to interview T.I. Can we make that happen at Killer Mike?
Okay, T.I. and Killer Mike, you guys got your own platform, but I'm pretty sure, because T.I. is actually doing some great things in the community. I'm so excited about what him and his wife, Tiny, shout out to you too, because without you, honey, your husband, he'll be your husband, but it take a strong backbone to hold up this fork in this city. So shout out to T.I. He's actually have some apartments that's on Donnelly Hollowell, which is the old Bankhead, and it's affordable living for women, single women and children, where he's actually paying their rent. He built this facility where it's based on your income. I think the most was like $400 and something a month for some of the families. He only had a short period of homes available. I know it was like 25. Him and the mayor Dickinson, Andre Dickinson, they actually got together. He came out there and blessed his property. So I do want to get you on here, T.I. I want to hold you accountable for the great things that you're doing, not talking about you in a negative. You've been doing some awesome things in our community for a long time. So, Kim, that will be not just a request. We will definitely try to make that happen to get him and his family in here. He does a lot in the community, but the housing, right on. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. It's not when you do it, it's when you are able to do it.
Right.
Okay? And some of us it's been very hard in our city for some of these businessmen. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen, like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Adrena Marie. Real talk, real stories. I'll see you next week. So guys, I'm calling out T.I. I'm calling out Killer Mike. I'm holding you guys accountable. You are pellets in this community. Killer Mike, Wheat Street, you've been over there in that community for a while. You notice the things that's going on in that community. And this is not holding you guys accountable in a bad way. I am recognizing all the great things that you have been doing. But we can be better, stronger together, okay? We do believe that it's only through our strong communities and our collaborations that we as a society will be able to be the change we want to be in this world. But we're going to start right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Real talk, real stories with your girl, Adrena Marie. We got Kim. We got Radiant in the building. And we're just holding it up. I'm not going to say holding it down. Great topics. So is it in there? Is there any other particular person that's in the music industry that you might want to get in here that can jump on this campaign with us too as well?
Dallas Austin as well, right?
Yeah, well, actually, Dallas. Actually, shout out to Dallas Austin. Shout out to Nate Waters. They have been very good pillars in working with us in our project. So we'll be over there at the CMII building at Georgia State. Dallas Austin Foundation and a couple other foundations are in that building. We actually been there for 2 years. Kim got the chance to go over and work there. We got some robotics going on. We have metaverse going on. So I'm hoping that holding these artists accountable that already are doing the great work and actually coming in and working with these students and getting them things that they need. Nice. It's going to be awesome. And they can tell their story. Yeah. We want to hear from you. What are you doing? Yeah, where have you been? What kind of money are you spending back into education to, community cleanup, community beautification projects, to homelessness, stable housing? We cannot wait on people anymore. We have the resources. We have the stabilization. We have the people. So let's work together, guys, and come together and get on board. This is your girl, Adrena Marie. Real talk, real stories. And I'm out. I can't wait to come back with you guys on our next segment because I definitely want to have a roundtable discussion. And the strippers were just the icing on a cake, okay? Because we're coming. It was a good start because you may think you know me, but you really don't know my story. Be the change. This is your girl, Adrena Marie. Real talk, real stories with Adrena Marie. Shout out to Hard Rock. Shout out to Reverb Radio. Hey, guys, we're in here. Stay tuned. Well, guys, welcome. This is your girl, Adrena Marie. We are here live on Real Talk, Real Stories. And I have one of my favorite friends on the call this morning, not Kim. She is a hip-hop scholar and one of the realest reporters that I have ever met that get up close and personal out there in the rural areas, getting us the news that we need to have from the hip-hop culture. Now, I want to introduce one of my good friends. Kim, come on in here, honey. How are you this morning?
Hey, good morning, honey. I'm doing great. Thank you. Like, it's not morning over here anymore. It's like 2:30. But I'm doing well. How is it over there? Okay. How is it over there?
It is good. It's good. We woke up a little humid outside, but everything else, it's a great, awesome, and amazing day. Now, Kim, I don't want to mess up your last name, honey. So can you let everybody know how to pronounce that? Because we friends and family, and Kim by Kim, I always call you that, but I do not want to mess up your last name. So could you say it for me?
I got you. It's actually like the Dutch way. If you want to pronounce it like the Dutch way, it's Dankoor. But you can also say like Dankoor. That's fine by me as well.
Dankoor. Is that that French?
Yeah, it has some origin in French, that's true. Mm-hmm. But of course, I'm Surinamese. My parents are from Suriname, a country in South America. So I am Black Dutch, but the name Dancor, probably has some origin in French. You know, the colonization days, they were everywhere.
Wow, that is so enlightening. Got a little history lesson this morning. So that brings me back to why you are such a scholar in the hip hop culture, because you are one of the realest reporters I have ever met that have been out here in a up close and personal relationship with the community, because you report from the culture and beyond. So I do have one more, a little bit of the conversation I was holding back for, but I noticed recently you had an interview with Antonio Simmons. And I thought that was so cool. And I wanted you to just enlighten us on that. Like, give us a little insight, if you can talk about it or not. But I'm so excited.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I was pretty excited about that as well, because Antonio Simmons is actually the director of Dogman.
Okay.
The last movie DMX actually started in. Rest in peace, DMX. I love him as an artist, and he's definitely gone too soon. He lost, he lost his life way too soon. Yeah. But it was a very interesting conversation, because, of course, we talked about the movie. We also talked about how it was for Antonio to actually work with such a legend as DMX.
Wow.
We also talked about representation, like African-American representation in media. And I think one of the most important statements that Antonio made was that he actually did it, how do you say that, the do-it-yourself approach that he had, because he came from a disadvantaged neighborhood, and he actually taught himself how to, film and how to write a script. And he was like, okay, Hollywood makes a lot of movies, or, Hollywood makes movies about, disadvantaged neighborhoods, people from quote-unquote hoods. But they're not doing it in a right way. Like, I think I can tell that story better. Right. And I think that is something that a lot of people can learn from. If you feel that you're not being represented in dominant media, please do it yourself, because all the opportunities are limitless. You have the internet, you can buy some equipment, you can work together with people from your community. So I really love the fact that Antonio was like, I don't like what Hollywood is doing. Let me tell my own story.
I know that's right, because we got to take it back. Sometimes we be waiting for people to do stuff for us, but we have to be able to know how to be educated, to get the tools that we need to be successful in those great areas of the art. And I'm just so excited about the continuing of his legacy, DMX. So that was, it was so genuine, your interview with Antonio. Oh, I am so excited. I can't wait to see you, okay? Now, you guys sit back, you relax, and we'll be right back with these messages. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen, like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Adrena Marie. Real talk, real stories. I'll see you next week.